everyone, my name is Abigail Sembiring. I'm a student of Samratulang University, and today I would like to explain the material of learning from the subject phonology and morphology. So in the first meeting, we're talking about linguistics. So the linguistic is a study of nature, variation, and structure of language, include phonology, morphology, syntax, phonetic, etc. So phonology and morphology is a part of linguistics. Then let's talk about phonetic. Phonetic is how the sound produced by the organ of speech. The organ of speech, there are lips, mouth, teeth, tongue, alveolar, glottis, nasal, palate, etc. Then the major phonetic alphabet is is the IPA or International Phonetic Alphabet. Then the symbol of phonetic is brackets. Then the symbol of phonemic is slash. Then silent letter. So we also talk about silent letter. So silent letter is when you don't have to pronounce one alphabet. For example, like island. In the word island, there is S, but you don't have to pronounce the S, just island, not Island, but just island. Then we also talk about sound segments. So each individual speech sounds. For example, like keep out. It will be KEEPOUNT. So it will be individual speech sounds. Then kind of phonetics. There are three kind of phonetics. The first is acoustic phonetics. It focuses of the physical properties of sounds. Then auditory phonetics is concerned with how listeners perceive the sounds. Then third is articulatory phonetics. That is a study of how the vocal tract produces the sound of language. And in this lesson, actually, we will talk about articulatory phonetics more and more. Then there's also orthography. Orthography is when the sounds of word is not in consistent way. For example, like father wanted. So the A here has a different sounds in father and wanted. Like in father is like A, but in wanted it will be like O. Then we also talk about it's consonant and vowel. So the sounds of all languages fall into two classes. It's consonant and vowel. So what is consonant? So consonant is consonant are produced with some restriction or closure in the vocal tract that impede the flow of air from the lungs. Then there are 25 consonants according to IPA. Then place of articulation is how to classify consonant according to where in the vocal tract airflow restriction occurs. There are 8, if I'm not mistaken. The first is bilabial, contact between the lips. For example, like P, P, M. So second is labiodental, contact between the lower lip and the upper teeth. For example, like V. Then third is dental, contact between the tip of the tongue and the area just behind the upper teeth. For example, like the word though. Then alveolar is contact between the tongue and the alveolar ridge. For example, example for alveolar is T, G, N, S, Z, I, and R. Then the next is palatal. Palatal contact between the tongue and the hard palate of alveolar ridge, or Example is ch, like in the word church. Then failure, contact between the tongue and the soft palate, for example, like K, G, and N. Then the last is glottal, is restriction of the airflow at the glottis, for example, H. Then talking about voice sounds. So if the vocal cords are together, the airstream forces its way through and causes them to vibrate. For example, like B, D, G, J, I, M, N, R, though, V, etc. Then the voiceless sound is when the vocal cords are apart, so that air flows freely through the glottis into theoretical cavity. For example, like H, F, K, T, and PH, like though. Then a nasal sound, when the phylum is not in the raised position, air escapes through both the nose and the mouth. For example, M, N, and Ang. It's also there are nasal in Indonesian, but in Indonesian there is like nya, but in English there's no nya. Then let's talk about manner of articulation is how the sound made. The first is there are stop. Stop are consonants in which the airstream is completely blocked in the oral cavity for a short period. For example, P, B, M, T, G, N, K, G, and N. So, two is fricative is a consonant sound that is created by constricting the vocal tract, causing friction as the air passes through it. For example, like F, V, though, Z, J, S, Z, not W is not, Y, and H. Then affricate is a consonant that begins as a stop and releases as a fricative, generally with the same place of articulation. For example, like ch, like I said before in the word church. Vowel liquids are a class of consonants consisting of voice lateral approximants, for example, like I and R. Then there's glitch, is sound produced with little obstruction, little obstructions of the airstream. Example J and W. Then approximants are when the two articulators come close together, but not quite close enough to create air turbulence, maybe. For example, like W, J, R, and I. So after manner of articulation, we're talking about vowels. So vowels are produced with little restriction of the airflow from the lungs out of the mouth and the nose. Vowel can stand alone without the consonant. If the consonant is without restriction, but the vowel is a little restriction. Then in the vowel there is tongue position. There are high front vowel, high back vowel, low back vowel, low front vowel, and mid vowel. So after that is diphthong. Yeah, diphthong is a sequence of two vowel sounds. There are 8 diphthong according to I forget, but there are oi, ow, a, I, air. For example, like boy, sky, care, choice, dear, and etc. There's monophthong is a simple word just include one vowel. For example, like but, big, put, fat, to, and etc. Then the last is triphthong is includes 3 vowel. It's like, for example, like aye, oye, awe, and oe. For example, like fire, flyer, hour, and lover. Then, oh yeah, tense and lags. So tense vowels are longer than legs of the same height, and lags are shorter. For example, tense is like boat, so. Then the example of lags is bat, beat. Then uh, the next is about prosthetic features of supersegmental. Its length, pitch, loudness, stress, or accent. For example, like biru and biru, it has a different meaning in Japan. So the stress can be make a word has a different meaning. Then talk about word stress. So word stress is the emphasis in special syllable. Then there are two word stress. The first is primary stress is a stronger stress that indicate by apostrophe above, and for example like ability there is a emphasis in p. Then the second is secondary stress is a low stress uh, and indicate by quotation mark below, for example like education. Then let's talk about phonology. Phonology is the study of how speech sounds form patterns. From phonology, you can know that which your language and which the foreign language. So, if you know the patterns of the language, you will know that which your own language and which one is no, it's not my language. Then talk about morpheme. Morpheme is the knowledge of phonology, determines how we pronounce words and part of word. Uh, and in the morpheme, there's plural, and plural is word that indicate there is more than one. Maybe it's a person, animal, idea, things. For example, like cat became cats. One cat, two cats, and one dog, two dogs. And there's also irregular plural, for example, like mouse and mice. Then like identify the plural, there's allomorph is the more technical term for a variant of morpheme. Plural plural morpheme plural allomorph has three common three common allomorph. The first is z, is after voice non-sibilant segments, for example like bees and zoos. And second is s, is after voiceless non-sibilant segments, for example like books and chips. Then the last is s, is after sibilant segment, for example like houses and buses. Oh yeah. After that, we talk about a minimal pair. Minimal pair is consists of two word sound that are very similar but has different meaning. For example, like safe in Indonesian is aman, then safe in Indonesian is simpan. So safe and safe like have a same similar sounds but has a different meaning. Then also like a phrase, flash, then bat and bat. Uh, then next to syllable. Syllable is phonological unit composed of one or more phonemes. Every syllable has onset as the first word. Then there are rhyme, includes nucleus and coda. The nucleus is like a vowel or diphthong. Then the coda is the last word. Let's talk about what's the next. The next is phonemes. Phonemes are the basic form of a sound as sense mentally rather than spoken or heard. Each phoneme, mental abstraction in itself, is manifested orally by one or more sounds called allophones. Then talk about phonetic features. The phonetic features or voicing therefore distinguishes the two words. Voicing also distinguishes feel and feel. So feel and feel. Then when a feature distinguishes one phoneme or from another, hence one word from another, it's called a distinctive features. Then after distinctive features, we will talk about features. Oh yeah, maybe it's about phonological rules. Then the phonological rules is there, maybe there are four, maybe if I'm not mistaken. The first is assimilation. So phonological process in which a sound changes to resemble nervy sounds and can occur both forward and backward within a word or between words. For example, the prefix in where sometimes it appears as in and others as in front of bilabial words, like put or between in is pronounced with an input or between. Then the rules number two is dissimilation. Dissimilation is phonological process in which two close sounds, similar consonants or vowel, chance to become less alike. For example, manner dissimilation in which a stop becomes a fricative when followed by another stop. The word six, it's pronounced six. It will be not the like the x. The x it chants into k, so not six but six. And number three is insertion. Is phonological process in which a sound is added to a word. For example, is a voiceless stop insertion where between a nasal consonant and a voiceless fricative, a voiceless stop with the same place of articulation as the nasal consonant is inserted in English. Many add a or p to hamster, like hamster. You add p like hamster, it will be hamster. Then number four is deletion or elision. So it's a phonological process in which speech sounds disappear from words. For example, vowel can be deleted to make one syllable, to make it easier to pronounce in a fast manner. For example, like police between police. Like police between police. So like maybe it's easier pronunciation than we talk about after the rules. We talk about intonation. Intonation. So there are also intonation languages in which the rise and fall of pitch may contrast meanings of sentence. For example, like Mary is a teacher, then Mary is a teacher, it will be a different meaning. So like the first is like a statement, Mary is a teacher, then second is like a question, like Mary is a teacher. So there's called intonation. Then the large lesson of this phonology and morphology is sequential constraints. Is the last lesson, I think. Mm, so the determine which sound may be adjacent within the syllable. This determine what words are possible in language and what phonetic strings are impermissible. Possible but non-occurring words constitute accidental gaps and are nonsense word. For example, like bleak. Yeah, bleak. You will know that bleak is not English, but maybe the bleak is a foreign language because you have learned phonology, so you will know the pattern of your language. So you will know that bleak is not your language, or bleak is not English. And actually, in the last lesson, we also talk about like a sequence of consonant and vowel, like for example, like CV word, like consonant after vowel, and consonant consonant vowel 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 consonant, like this, or consonant 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 and vowel, like strong, it's consonant consonant vowel. Then yeah, there's another example. But I think just is the material of learning in this semester. But yeah, it's actually about phonetic and phonology. So just I can't explain in this video, so I'm sorry there's so many mistaken, or maybe my voice is not clear. So yeah, I just wanna say thank you for you who watch my video. Bye bye.